Hey, everybody, I'm excited about the release of my latest book. It's called Choosing to Forgive. The subtitle is How Forgiveness Leads to Freedom. This is such an important topic, the topic of forgiveness. I've been ministering deliverance for many years now, and I find that oftentimes unforgiveness can be an open door to demonic influence. It can be a hindrance for people when they're receiving healing, they're receiving deliverance. And so, forgiveness is such a critical topic. We live in a fallen world. We live in a broken world. There's broken people. It's inevitable that at some point in our lives, we're going to be hurt by other people. We're going to be sinned against. We're going to be hurt to one degree or another. Sometimes it's very severe. Sometimes it's more minor. But these things hurt when we get sinned against. We get lied to. We get betrayed. We get abused, misused. All types of things we can think about. Here's the thing: how we respond to these situations when we get sinned against, when we get hurt by other people, how we respond has a great impact on our lives, has a great impact on our relationship with God, has a great impact on our destiny. And so forgiveness is such an important topic. We see this topic throughout the Bible, especially in the New Testament. And so in this book, I cover different areas about forgiveness. I talk about in the first chapter about how unforgiveness is like a prison. And then forgiveness opens the prison door. Forgiveness opens the prison door so we can walk in freedom. We can walk in healing. I have a chapter in there on the two sides of forgiveness. I talk about how forgiveness is like a coin. It has two sides. You can't take one side without the other. The first side of forgiveness is receiving forgiveness from God. The second side of forgiveness is extending forgiveness to others. I go through lots of passages of scripture where we see these two sides of forgiveness put together. I talk about how unforgiveness opens the door to torment, to demonic influence, and how when we harbor resentment and bitterness and hatred in our hearts, it's actually not hurting the person who hurt us, it's hurting ourselves. And so we think that we're justified in doing this, and we think that we're going to get that person back, we're going to pay them back, but it actually only hurts us. Something else about this book I think is really key. It's important. I have a chapter in here on what forgiveness is not. Chapter 4 is called What Forgiveness Is Not. I want to clarify what is forgiveness and then what's not forgiveness. What does forgiveness mean? What does forgiveness not mean? Because sometimes teaching about forgiveness has been misused or maybe misapplied, and then it causes more damage, it causes more pain, and people end up putting themselves in situations where they keep being abused, or they feel like in order for them to forgive, they have to go back into the same level of relationship with that person, and that's not always the case. You can forgive a person and still have healthy boundaries when that's needed. Every situation is unique. There's lots of nuances to this topic, but there's a whole chapter in here clarifying what forgiveness is not. And then the fifth chapter, I talk about why choose to forgive. I give four key reasons on why we should forgive, four biblical reasons why we should choose to forgive. And I talk about how forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice, not a feeling. We forgive out of obedience to God because He has forgiven us. And so I cover four key reasons why we should always choose to forgive. And then the last chapter, chapter 6, it's actually a prayer. It's a model prayer. There's some introductory thoughts and comments there, preparing your heart, but then there's a model prayer that you can use to pray to forgive other people. And so I'm excited about this book because I have seen this at work. There's some testimonies in here where I talk about people who they had gone through horrific situations, they'd gone through abuse and trauma, but then they came under demonic influence and demonic oppression, and choosing to forgive was a major aspect of them getting set free, getting healed, stepping into the life that God has for them. And so I've seen this happen on many occasions. And so I'm excited for the influence that this book can have. I hope you'll get a copy. You can get a copy on Amazon. You can click the link in the description here of this video. I hope you'll get it. I hope you'll share it with friends. I hope it's a blessing to you and that God will use it in your life to give you biblical foundations, biblical equipping, and encouragement for you to forgive, to release the ones who have hurt you.